Hey, how you doing, guys? Welcome back to another video. So, the topic today is the importance of school, right? But the funny thing is, that's actually something that's not the real topic of this video. I'm talking about the contradicting side of the importance of not going to school. You know what I mean? So, I was just trapping you guys to get to the video, but let me get to it. What I basically mean in this video is just because you do not have a school degree does not mean you should feel lesser importance of yourself than others around you. Now, the truth is, the world wants you not to talk bad about religion. The world doesn't want you to talk bad about school education. Now, we're not denying that school is very important, the whole education thing, and you gotta graduate, get your grades up. The world moves. We are where we are today because of things like computer science, and a lot of guys do go to school for it. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who've done good in the field who haven't gone to school. So with this video, I just want to highlight some things so you also change your perspective of how you think of your friends who haven't graduated or went to school, and somehow you feel like you are superior because you had the advantage or the blessing of having parents or whatever hustle you had that allowed you to go to school. So here's the point, guys. School is not everything. Okay, it's a very important. Hell, I would tell my own kids to go to school. I would take my own kids to go to school. But the reality is, some people, they do not have the funds to actually go to a school. So we should not then think less of them because they were not able to graduate, whatever the case may be. Now, if you look at the great minds, man, you guys like your Steve Jobs, your Bill Gates, your Mark Zuckerberg, a lot more others, most of the things that they learned from books, right? And practice, of course, but they never really went to school and sat on classes and found themselves trying to pass grade after grade after grade, semester after semester to make the billions that they made. Why is it that these guys became successful outside of a classroom? It just proves that at the end of the day, guys, you could be your own boss, and by the habits that you live with, it'll make you grow into someone who can be successful without a college degree, you know? And your hustle can be so good that later on you could now have the funds to come back and finish off your school degree if that's what's going to make you feel good about yourself. You know what I mean? So we trying to educate in this video that there is more to life, guys, than a school degree. You know, yes, we are saying get one where you can. If you're given the chance, push as much, get it. But at the same time, if you feel like you're really that smart, you really can be your own boss, there's nothing wrong with being an entrepreneur. It's not easy to be an entrepreneur. I think you've done some research, or if you're an entrepreneur already, you'd probably just let people know that, listen, it's not an easy field. I've tried it myself. It's super difficult. Some people are just better off with an 8 to 5, whatever the case may be. But with companies always highlighting jobs with school degree, or we don't take you in, this is now creating an environment whereby people don't feel like there'll be anything in this world unless they got a college degree. So whoever is watching the video and hasn't had the opportunity to graduate, you need to then sit down and think, what are other ways that can make you money, that can make you a better person, but obviously starting with your habits, guys, because that's what the key is. You could have doctors, lawyers earning all sorts of monies, but you find out that that person is never a millionaire simply because they just did not have the right habits to keep the money or keep growing. And then you find someone who hasn't gone to school, builds a whole company and makes billions and keeps making more billions. You need to ask yourself, why is that? Why does that happen? It's just proof again, guys, that at the end of the day, as long as you got your brain and your ideas and you put in the work, you could actually become someone. You know, to start a small business does not need a college degree, guys. You understand? And with me, what I believe is school is just, it allows you to learn how to think, you know, because you can damn sure graduate and not be the smartest guy when you get to a new job. In fact, some of the jobs, they don't even want you if you don't have the experience. So if someone took 5 years to get a college degree and someone else took 5 years to actually start on the job, you know, 5 years, they start off at the same time. This one got a degree 5 years later. This one happened to have 5 years experience on the job. Who's more likely going to be the better prospect? Who's more likely going to be able to do the job quicker and faster in the following year after 5 on the 6th year? You know what I mean? So we're not arguing that school is important. People should go to school when they can. School is great. You know, we can't all be out here being athletes and rappers from rich families. If you're given the opportunity in life, take it by both hands. You know what I mean? But let us stop thinking that just because someone hasn't gone to school and graduated and got a degree, that means that you are better than them. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, guys, it comes from executing. You know, who's able to do the job, who has the more money. You know, a lot of people in the 8 to 5 environment are in the red race. You know what I mean? They just look good to the banks. Just because you got a job, a degree, a contract, you are most likely going to get a bank loan. You know, we can argue about that one. So the guy without a college degree, the banks feel like he's a little bit more shady, you know. So you need to then ask yourself that, listen, since now I'm not a child who was given the opportunity to graduate, what can I do to make myself better? And that's one thing, guys, and one thing only. You have to then change your habits and pretend as if you have attending school, but simply just the school of hard knock life. You know, you have the opportunity to build yourself to somebody, not to allow a school to define your future. You do not need a professor to teach you how to live, guys. You know what I mean? All of these big shots, there's accountants out there that are not even good with making money or keeping it. You know, the bills are so high, the house bond, the car installments, they just look good on paper and on the streets, but in reality, they just not good with the numbers, you know. But with you, who didn't go to school, you can actually take the time to teach yourself how to master yourself and the life around you and build another better life to yourself. You know, this world, guys, is not made up of graduates only. That's the truth. It's not just made out of graduates only. There's a little bit of everything, and we all need each other, you know. But with today's message is simply just that if you haven't had the opportunity to get yourself a college degree, you are still worth it, my man. You still can become somebody. Most of the billionaires, looking at their stories, it has nothing to do with school, guys. Nothing to do with varsity, with college. These are people who learned these things from books. Plenty free books online nowadays. These are people who learned the skills through practice, day in, day out, 80 hours a week, whilst people are still in class doing assignments. People were building businesses, you know what I mean? I have a friend, when I started my first year in college, he went straight and started a computer shop. And 5 years later, guys, I have a degree. I'm working for someone. I don't even own a Ford Ranger like he does, you know. But we started off at the same time. In fact, I'm even older by him. I think about a year or two, and he's a millionaire now because looking at his assets that he has, I could quickly put together that this guy has made his first million. You know what I mean? And for me, I'm still working on my first million, you know. So that's another one example in my life where I've seen it with my own eyes, with my own friend who didn't go to school And really, when I was carrying that backpack at the time, I felt I was all of that. I really felt I was good. Like, look at this guy selling secondhand laptops. What is he trying to do? Secondhand laptops here and there. So apparently, he was stocking laptops and refurbishing them and then selling them out. You know, if you got a computer problem, especially most of the students, they would go to him and fix, you know. But when I saw that this guy was starting to make some money, he started having one or two employees. You know, it used to be him and one guy. All of a sudden, he's got two employees and he's never there at the shop anymore. That's when I was like, this guy's making some money. You know, 2, 3 years later, fast forward later, he's got a big car outside, but I watched him take his time with it. He didn't just rush it off. That was a 10-year plan for him, of which he's in the field for 10 years. I split the 10 in half. I went to school for 5 years and I worked 5. But at the end of the 10 years, he has more assets than I have, guys. He has more assets than I have, and he didn't go to school. He simply just used his brain and had high discipline. And you know, he's probably a millionaire. He's probably making more than me. And looking at the assets that he has, I do believe that he's making way more money than me, you know. So that's just another example. I'm sure you've seen people in your life. You need to ask yourself, why is that so and so didn't go to school, somehow is making more money than you, or is making more money than certain people that you know? How is that? It proves again that there is more to life than a college degree. You need to figure out what you want, how you can get it, and then develop the right habits for you to attack that goal, you know? The whole school thing is great, but you really, really, really don't need to think of yourself lesser just because you did not wear a certain gown, got your hand shook on stage, and took some photos, guys. You know what I mean? This is a world of all different possibilities. You know, look at the trees outside. They're all giving out different type of fruits. The gases outside in the atmosphere is different type. Not everything around you is just oxygen. In fact, I must even try to research that if every gas in the world just disappeared and we all had oxygen, would we survive? The truth is no, because if there was only oxygen, then chances are the trees wouldn't really give us back carbon dioxide, and then now it's either the trees would die first or we die first. Nonetheless, Earth wouldn't look like the way it is if oxygen was all that is in this world, you know. So that's an example that we can have graduates, but graduates also need entrepreneurs. They need people who are willing to take the risk all in, guys. You know, so we growing up with the idea that all this world is made up of is people who should go to school and they are the best thing out there. You know what I mean? But the truth is, the crazies, the big dreamers, the people who didn't go to class somehow are also vital in the puzzle of building this world into a better place, guys. Your athletes, you know, your entertainments, your comedians, your actors, your guys that build companies from scratch, you know, all of this put together makes the world what it is today. You know what I mean? And you won't hear about everything, guys. That whole Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates thing, that's probably one in a million billion stories. There's so many stories out there of things that have been built or discovered simply because of people who took the chance to go out there and put themselves in the forefront whilst you are in the classroom with a pen and paper thinking you're better than everyone else. You know what I mean? School is important. Once again, I'm highlighting it. We're not fighting it. School is great. Go to school given the opportunity. But if you've never been to school to that level, haven't been given the opportunity, you need to believe that you can be a millionaire, billionaire by having the right habits and believing that you are more than enough in this world. You know what I mean? Just because you're not waking up every morning and putting on a suit and tie, it does not mean that he or she is better than you. Simply not because that you don't have that. In fact, if you didn't go to school, you can be so rich enough that you hire all these graduates that decided to go to school. Now that will even make you feel more smarter, because your employees are all people who went to college and got themselves a college degree. So believe in yourself, guys. Believe in yourself. There's a lot of suicide stories I used to read back in the day of kids who didn't finish school, of funds running out along the way, bursaries kicking them out, whatever the case may be. You know, the reason why these people sometimes kill themselves, they believe that without that degree, that college degree, that varsity degree, that's it, they are finished. And it's sad stories that we used to read about, and it's reality to what happens in the world, guys. But with this video, it's just to remind you that, listen, it's more than school. You can be a great mom, a great dad, a great entrepreneur. You could learn how to save money. You could learn how to start your own business. You don't need to sit in a classroom and get yourself a white paper 3, 4, 5 years later, guys. There's a lot of talents that this world is made up of. You know what I mean? If you took everyone in this world who does not have a degree, the world wouldn't function the way it is. You know what I mean? There are all sorts of minerals on the soils that grow the trees, guys. It's not just one type of soil or gases or chemical or mineral that makes the trees grow. It's so many different elements that put that whole nutritious thing together and make a seed germinate, guys. So we need all of y'all. So even if you didn't go to school or you went to school, everyone has a role to play, guys. You know what I mean? So don't look down on people who didn't go to school. And if you haven't been to school and it's you, don't look down on yourself, man. You can make those millions. You can make those billions. Just go out there and get that money. You know what I mean? So shout out to you guys watching the video. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. And remember, there's enough money for all of us, baby. College degree or no college degree, there's literally enough money for all of us. Get your share of that, man. And I'm going to see you guys on the next video. Peace.